Hey guys, in today's video we will see a new story called The Return of the God of Destruction, Big Mun. This story will be about a god of destruction that was brought to life, but he didn't belong to any of the current 12 universes. He belonged to one of the 6 universes that had been destroyed by Zeno thousands of years ago. We will see how this god of destruction will behave now, thousands of years after his death, and what will be his goal now that he has returned. Will this god of destruction be a new ally for Goku or a new enemy for Goku and his friends? Well, just follow along to find out. So grab a bucket of popcorn and your soda and come with me, and of course don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and comment what you think of this story. Well, without further ado, let's start following this amazing story. Somewhere outside the 12 universes. In a place where nothing existed, composed only of darkness and nothing else, there was a small purple sphere, with some details like it was cloth or something like that. That small purple sphere wandered through the vast darkness, but it was not just a normal sphere, but the soul of an ancient god of destruction that had been wandering in that place since the day of his death. But even his so-called death could not erase what he felt. The deepest hatred and anger towards the supreme beings who had brought about his death. Only this god of destruction didn't know that what he wanted most would happen. This god of destruction would finally have the chance to take revenge on those who brought his death, and the god of destruction would have to thank a certain emperor who, due to his greed, ended up bringing what could be considered the Ragnarok of the gods of destruction and angels. But they would not be the only ones to feel his fury, because the supreme beings are the true targets of this god of destruction. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, it was possible to see a spaceship wandering through the universe, accompanied by other smaller spaceships around it. The main and largest ship was the feared Emperor Frieza, the being who most hates the Saiyajins in the universe, and who is also a Saiyan, Son Goku's archenemy from planet Earth. Inside Frieza's spaceship, it was possible to see that Frieza was sitting on a kind of throne that could float, and the Emperor was looking at the glass panel of his ship, seeing all the stars and constellations he passed by. Other than that, inside the ship was also Frieza's private advisor, along with other people who were operating the spaceship. Frieza spoke. "Counselor, are we already reaching our destination?" asked the Emperor to his advisor, who, upon hearing the words of his master, looked at one of Frieza's servants who was in charge of piloting the ship, and when he saw that she was looking at him, the servant sent information to the advisor's scouter. The counselor said, "From the information received, my sovereign, we will reach your destination in a short time. But let me ask you one more time, why are we going to a planet that is on the edge of our universe? What is there for you to go see for yourself?" said the advisor to her sovereign. After all, Frieza would not go to some planet if it wasn't important. Frieza said, "Simple, my dear. In the latest research by one of my archaeological servants, they ended up discovering a legend that said that whoever finds a star created by an ancient being called Zalama, who was called the Dragon God, whoever possesses this star will be able to make a wish that could even restore a universe. And moreover, they had discovered all this at the beginning of creation. There were 18 universes and not 12. That means that Zeno ended up destroying these 6 universes because they should be weak. And my current power made me a being with a level of power similar or superior to the gods of destruction. So I will use this star to bring one of their destroyed universes back to life, and then I will kill the god of destruction of that universe. And with that I will make the angel of the universe make me the new one god of destruction. And with that power I will be an extremely powerful being, and I will be able to defeat everyone who stands in my way," said the Emperor about his desire and goal to be a god of destruction, something that made all who heard him awestruck and awed by their sovereign's future power. Counselor said, "If you manage to accomplish this objective, then you will be able to govern an entire universe. With that, what will happen to all your servants, my lord?" said the woman, who was putting the question on the table. Everyone paid attention. After all, they could end up dead for not being more useful. Frieza said, "It's not if I succeed. I will succeed in becoming a god of destruction. No need to worry, because after I become a god of destruction, I will need you to rule the entire universe. Because when other tournaments of power happen, I will need elite soldiers capable of humiliating all warriors," spoke the Emperor with a cynical smile on his face. But just hearing those words, the soldiers sighed with happiness, because they would not be discarded, or in worst cases killed by the hands of their sovereign. The counselor said, "We appreciate your mercy, my lord. All of us will be happy to not only serve the current emperor of this universe, but also serve a future god of destruction of the universe." "It seems that we have arrived, my lord," said the advisor to Frieza, who paid more attention to the glass panel in front of him. When looking at the glass panel in front of him, Frieza was able to see a small planet with a large volume of a reddish liquid similar to water, but it had a redder tone, almost blood. and the part that was made of land had something that looked like with earth grass, only it was light blue, and beyond that there were small floating islands scattered around the planet. Frieza spoke. "Yes, this is the planet I was looking for. Before we land, send some soldiers to search the planet and tell them to look for a floating island with a golden tree, which should emanate a destructive purple color energy with a dark tone," said the Emperor, turning around and looking at his advisor, who soon ordered some soldiers to do what their sovereign had ordered. It didn't take long for Frieza's army to find what their lord wanted, and soon the Emperor's spaceship began to fly over the floating island that should have been big enough to be considered a continent. A ramp ended up opening on Frieza's ship, and when it opened completely, it was possible to see the Emperor already in his floating vehicle. Then Frieza jumped off the ramp and fell on the floating island. And upon reaching the ground of the floating island, the Emperor ended up seeing that on the island there was a type of pyramid, with some statues of some beings that Frieza did not know, but thought that they must be from the civilization that belonged to the planet. Frieza said, "Advisor, create an exploration group and send them inside to explore this pyramid. But they can't touch anything," said the Emperor to his advisor, who soon organized some exploration groups and sent them inside the pyramid. Meanwhile, the Emperor sat at an improvised throne and began to eat some things that his cooks had made for him. A few hours had passed and almost all the exploration groups had already returned. Only one of them was missing. This group was the one that Frieza most expected because he believed that they had found the place where the star was, which would grant the wish that Frieza wanted so much. So another hour had passed and the last group had returned with information about the location of the star that the Emperor wanted so much. Frieza said, "Congratulations on finding the star's resting place. Now take me there. When we return, I will give you a great fortune, in addition to a prestigious title for the services rendered to me," said the Emperor to the soldiers who had discovered the place where the star was. Frieza said, "Now guide me to the place where that star is," said the Emperor to his soldiers, who soon began to guide him to the place where the star was. Some soldiers had died on the way, as there were several traps in the corridors of the temple. A few minutes later, it was possible to see that Frieza and his exploration group had arrived at the place where the star was, and when they arrived, they saw the star on top of a pedestal. This star shone in several different colors, something that made the star even more desirable. Frieza spoke. "So this is the star I was looking for so much, and now it is within my reach. With this star, I will be able to become even stronger, and with that, I will be a god of destruction. And in the future, I will be a ruler of the entire universe, and who knows, of all of them together," said the Emperor as he walked towards the star. Upon getting closer to the star, the Emperor picked it up and began to analyze it. So when Frieza was going to make his wish to the star, when at that very moment, the star began to shine brightly, making it hotter than before, something that forced Frieza and his soldiers to move away from the star, which began to float and release an energy of destruction, similar to that of a god of destruction. The star that was now emitting an energy similar to that of the god of destruction began to form several bands of energy that began to surround the star. These bands began to form a humanoid body, and it wasn't long before an explosion of energy took place, causing much of the temple to be destroyed, especially the top where the crystal was previously. Thanks to the explosion, a lot of dust ended up rising, covering the view of all the soldiers who had not died from the wreckage of the temple that had fallen. And after a few seconds, the dust had lowered, and everyone could see that there was a being floating in the place where the crystal was previously. That being had a body composed of more than yellowish bands, having an older tone. He had red eyes, and what most caught Frieza's attention was that he was wearing a God of Destruction outfit, only a little different from the others that Frieza had seen, showing that being was a God of Destruction, but not of any of the current 12 universes. The mysterious God of Destruction spoke. "I came back to life. Am I back? I'm finally back," said the God of Destruction in a higher tone, releasing his energy of destruction, making all Frieza's soldiers shiver with pure fear. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely on a planet at the edge of the universe, it was possible to see Frieza with some of his soldiers facing the mysterious being, who released the energy of destruction in which only the gods of destruction possessed. The general said, "Lord Frieza, we all thought that your wish would be to revive one of the universes that have been destroyed, so that in that universe you could become the new god of destruction. So why did you revive that being? Will he help you achieve your goal of ruling all universes?" asked one of the generals to Frieza's army, who had some superficial injuries on his body because of a debris that had fallen on him, and especially those that had almost fallen on top of Frieza's advisor, in which the general protected her. The advisor said, This is something I also want to know, my sovereign. At no time had you referred to any being that would help you in your conquest to be a god of destruction, spoke the Emperor's advisor to Frieza, who was facing that being curious and angry at the same time. Frieza said, I didn't plan any of this. I don't know this being. At the time I removed the star from the pedestal, the star began to shine very brightly and began to emit great heat, and because of that I moved away from it. And this being appeared, I did nothing, said the Emperor without taking his eyes off that god of destruction that was with bands by the body. Frieza, now that there was no more dust, began to analyze that being to see if he knew which race or planet he belonged to. That being had dark skin with some cracks, and his body was almost completely bandaged, and his eyes were a strong red. In addition, what most caught Frieza's attention was that he wore a god of destruction outfit, apart from what he wore on his head, which was something similar to the pharaohs of ancient times on planet Earth. Frieza thought, what is it? He has an aura and energy of a god of destruction, with the Hakaishin costume. What is he? Who is he really? Asked the Emperor as he looked at the mysterious being who wore the costume of the gods of destruction. The mysterious god of destruction spoke. I haven't felt the wind in my tracks for a long time. I would like to thank the one who removed the star from the pedestal and freed me from the clutches of death. I want the one who freed me to speak up, said the mysterious Hakaishin, claiming his aura and looking at everyone in the place. Thanks to the Hakaishin having claimed his aura, Frieza's soldiers who were on the ground could breathe normally again, and the rest no longer felt a weight on their bodies. One of the soldiers spoke. Who are you, and what do you do with the star that belonged to Lord Frieza? Said a low-class soldier who had risen and was now trying to act brave and confident. The soldier thought, if I act with courage in front of that being, maybe Lord Frieza will give me some reward, like a great fortune or a title that makes me superior to the others in the army, thought the low-level soldier while pretending to have courage and confidence in front of him. The mysterious god of destruction spoke. Were you the one who removed the star from the pedestal? Asked the mysterious god of destruction while looking at Frieza's soldier who caught his attention. The soldier said, no, it wasn't me who removed the star from the pedestal. Now don't pretend that, said the soldier before being interrupted by something that crossed his body, that everyone present looked at the soldier who had called the Hakaishin's attention and saw that there was a hole in the place where the heart was originally of the soldier, who soon after fell to the ground, dead. Frieza thought, he's fast. I couldn't even see him firing the attack. He wasn't just fast, but he was also accurate. Besides having a destructive power, fast, accurate, and destructive, I have to be careful before acting against this being, thought the Emperor as he watched the attack of the mysterious Hakaishin, which was faster than his eyes could follow. The mysterious god of destruction spoke. If you weren't responsible for my rebirth, then you should be silent. Now I would like the one who revived me to speak out, and only him, said the god of destruction while looking with contempt at everyone in the place, except Frieza, because he had a lot of power, and that god of destruction could feel it. Frieza said, I was the one who revived him. I was responsible for having removed the star from the pedestal. Now that you know that I am the one who removed the star from the pedestal, I would like to know who you are, and where is my star, said the Emperor, speaking for the first time in that place, attracting the Hakaishin's attention. Big Mun spoke. My name is Big Mun, the god of destruction of the 13th universe. The star? It disappeared. It can only be used once, and I used it thousands of years ago. And now that my wish has been fulfilled, the star has disappeared from all eternity, spoke the god of destruction, revealing his name, and that the star could not more to be possessed by the Emperor, who upon hearing that was very angry that he could no longer have his wish fulfilled because of Big Mun. Frieza said, What do you mean you used the star millions of years ago? She was here not long ago. Tell me, where is the star? The Emperor spoke in a louder tone, unable to contain his anger. Big Mun said, I made a wish thousands of years ago for the star to revive me after many years, but I should have already revived, so that means that someone must have found a way to prevent or delay the star's wish. But thanks to you, I came back. Now lower your tone, you insolent mortal. I am a Hakaishin, and not a servant like those who follow you. Shut up or I will have to kill you, spoke the god of destruction to the Emperor, who was no longer concerned with the amount of power he felt a short while ago. Frieza thought, I don't care anymore. I know he's strong for being a god of destruction, but I have the power that matches the power of the Hakaishins, so let's see who will be the winner, thought the Emperor as he looked at the god of destruction in front of him. Frieza, seeing that his plan had already been ruined, he didn't care anymore and advanced against Big Mun, who easily dodged the attack. Then Frieza fired several key spheres in the direction of the Hakaishin that received all the attacks, but none of them had any effect on him. Big Mun spoke. It seems that you are not as weak as those others who follow you. If you want to defeat me, come with all your power, because I know you're not using your full power yet. Don't underestimate me, you worm, spoke the Hakaishin, looking at the Emperor. Frieza spoke. Who do you think you're calling a worm? Said the Emperor, furious with the way the Hakaishin had called him. Frieza, because of his anger, ended up activating his divine power, making a golden aura surround his body. And as soon as it disappeared, Frieza's body was in a golden form. It was the power of Golden Frieza. Frieza, now in his divine form, advanced against the Hakaishin, who, upon seeing that, was surprised that Frieza had a divine power. But even surprised, the Hakaishin did not lower his guard, and at the time the Emperor approached him, trying to punch him. The Hakaishin, who saw that, dodged to the left and took the opportunity to punch the Emperor's ribs. But Big Mun didn't stop. He hit Frieza's abdomen with a kick, then grabbed Frieza's tail and threw him against the enemy floor, creating a crater. Big Mun said, Is that all you've got? How disappointing. When I felt your divine power, I thought you would be strong. But that's just it. You only have brute force and not combat technique. Because if you have it, I don't see it, the Hakaishin said in a tone of contempt. After all, what Frieza had done wasn't something surprising, and anyone with the minimum of technique could do. Frieza spoke, It's not necessary technique or martial arts skills for one who possesses supreme strength. Now you will witness the power of Black Frieza, said the Emperor, releasing a large amount of energy, causing the place where they were to begin to collapse. All Frieza's warriors immediately left the place, leaving only the two warriors. With the soldiers and the counselor outside the temple, it was possible to see the temple was collapsing. After a few seconds, the entire pyramid fell to the ground. Some debris began to float, and suddenly in the center where the star was, a big explosion happened, and two auras rose to the heavens, being the auras of Big Mun and Frieza, who was now in the strongest form titled Black Frieza, in the 7th universe. Currently on the planet that was at the limits of the 7th universe, it was possible to see on the largest floating island that the huge pyramid where the star that would grant a wish to its bearer was no longer standing, because Big Mun and Frieza, who was in his strongest form called Black Frieza, had destroyed the pyramid by raising their powers, and now Big Mun and Frieza were on top of the place where the pyramid's wreckage was. Big Mun spoke. That black form of yours is much more powerful than that golden form, so that must be your current maximum power. I must admit that this power of yours is impressive, and I would say that you must be as strong as a god of destruction, said the god of destruction, admitting that Frieza was as strong as a god of destruction, something that made the Emperor give an arrogant smile. Frieza said, About me having a power that equals that of a god of destruction, that I already knew, but thank you for confirming, said the Emperor with a big arrogant smile on his face. This made Big Mun laugh, leaving the Emperor confused. Big Mun spoke. Make no mistake, you have power that matches that of a god of destruction, but in our base form. All gods of destruction possess a form that releases the true power of destruction, so even the weakest of the gods of destruction, upon activating this power, could face the strongest god of destruction, and depending upon who was activating this power, it could even face an angel and defeat him. But angels also have a similar power that makes them much stronger, so you can even be stronger. But you couldn't face a god of destruction using 100%, said the god of destruction to Frieza, who was shocked to learn that the gods of destruction possessed even greater power than Frieza thought and saw. Frieza thought, So the gods of destruction and angels have a supreme form? Shit, I thought that by being able to handle the power of destruction at the time of the Tournament of Power, I had become strong. And until now that I have my black form, I thought that I could overcome the gods of destruction. But now that I know, I will have to come up with a new plan to become a god of destruction, so that I can defeat Big Mun and assume his position as god of destruction, thought the Emperor as he looked at Big Mun, who was waiting for Frieza to act. Big Mun said, You are strong and very greedy, so I would say that you are after the position of the destruction god. If so, I'm right here. Defeat me and absorb my energy of destruction. This will automatically make you a god of destruction, and thus you can rule my universe. Of course, if it still exists, said the god of destruction, when analyzing the Emperor, and come to the conclusion that Frieza was looking for the power of a god of destruction, and that saying that would be a good incentive. Frieza spoke. Absorb your energy of destruction? Asked the curious Emperor about the way he could become a god of destruction. Big Mun said, That's right. If you defeat me, you can absorb my energy of destruction and become the new god of destruction of the 13th universe. That was how the new gods of destruction of my time were chosen. And it was from this, so that I became the god of destruction of the 13th universe. Now that I've motivated you enough, are you going to stand there or are you going to come and face me? Asked the god of destruction, provoking the emperor for them to face each other. Frieza said, "It's good to know. So I will defeat you, and thus gain the power of a god of destruction. And with that I will go to your universe to govern it. But if your universe is destroyed, I will have to kill one of the current ones, gods of destruction, and take their place," said the emperor, deciding to face Big Mun to get his power, something that made the god of destruction smile because he wanted to face the emperor. Big Mun thought, "It's been years since I fought. Let's see if I still know how to fight, and especially how to use my powers correctly," thought the god of destruction, putting himself in a combat posture. Frieza, now more motivated than ever, he advanced against Big Mun, who waited for the emperor to approach him. When Frieza was close enough, he tried to punch Big Mun, but Big Mun managed to drop and tried to do the same thing at the last time. However, Frieza already expected it and managed to fire a ray made of ki from his fingertips toward the god of destruction, who managed to dodge the attack, but could not dodge a kick given by Frieza that made him fly for a few meters. Big Mun managed to stabilize himself in the air and at the same time advanced against the Emperor, who was surprised by his high speed. The only thing the Emperor managed to do was cross his arms to defend himself from Big Mun's attacks. The attack made by the God of Destruction was strong enough to make Frieza fly, but unlike Big Mun, Frieza did not stabilize in the air but continued to fly, and seeing this, Big Mun went after him, flying at high speed after the Emperor. Big Mun managed to follow Frieza to a quarry, which was well destroyed by Frieza's attacks, which was floating over the place. When Big Mun went after Frieza, he was forced to dodge a large stone that was thrown at him by Frieza, who had used his power to do that. Frieza, using his power, began to make thousands of stones float, and launched them against the God of Destruction, who began to destroy them using his fists. Until tired of doing that, Big Mun made an aura of destruction surround his body, causing everything that touched him to disintegrate, making the thousands of stones thrown by Frieza become light purple particles. This hindered Frieza's vision, and when the particles disappeared, the God of Destruction was no longer in that place. Frieza tried to go to where the God of Destruction was, but when Frieza tried to do that, he felt something holding his arm. And when he looked at his arm, he saw it wrapped in a yellowish cloth, imbued with the energy of destruction. Frieza could see Big Mun looking at him with a smile on his face, as those were the cloths that were wrapped around the body of the 13th universe God of Destruction. Big Mun with great strength pulled his cloths, causing Frieza to be pulled together, and using his strength, Big Mun began to rotate in the place where he was, and the more Big Mun rotated, the stronger the type of tornado became, which was being generated by the strength and speed applied at that location. But they were in a quarry and Frieza was trapped, wrapped in Big Mun's cloths. Frieza ended up hitting the mountains that were there several times. Frieza, in a fury, managed to break free from Big Mun's cloths, and then fired at high speed at Big Mun, who did the same thing. And then the two ended up meeting in the sky, and when they approached each other, both tried to punch the others. But their fists ended up meeting, generating a large impact wave, due to the force used by the two. After their fists collided, both separated and then advanced towards each other, starting a rain of blows. The impact wave of the attacks was strong enough to pulverize everything around. The exchange of blows between Big Mun and Frieza became increasingly violent. Even more so when Frieza began to fire a blast of ki against the God of Destruction, who managed to dodge most of them. After all, Frieza's ki blows hurt the God of Destruction, even though he used the energy of destruction as a barrier. Big Mun said, "It's been a while since I used that technique. Let's see if I can still do it," said the God of Destruction, moving away from Frieza and concentrating. In a matter of seconds, Big Mun closed his eyes and then opened them, and using his power, all the elements such as stone, wood, and things like that were in the place began to take the form of a type of humanoid dog that began to fly, until all those beings that were created by Big Mun were close to their creator. Frieza spoke, "What kind of power is this? He managed to transform the local elements into beings that are powered by ki. He literally just created an army," said the Emperor while looking at the newly created army of Big Mun. Big Mun said, "Let's see if you can face me and my army at the same time. For someone who seeks the power of a God of Destruction, it should be easy to accomplish this feat. So what do you say?" said the God of Destruction with an arrogant smile on his face. Seeing that, Frieza ended up getting very angry, because even though Big Mun's army was weak, it would still be boring to face them. But at the same moment, Frieza ended up remembering that he also had an army, and right at that time the spaceship of Frieza was flying over that place. And then when the ship landed, all the members of the army left and stayed behind Frieza. Frieza said, "Let's see which army is better now. But don't worry, I'll be the one you'll have to face to death," said the Emperor with a dangerous glint in his eye. In the 7th universe. Currently on the planet that is at the limits of the 7th universe, it was possible to see Frieza facing Big Mun. Both had their armies behind them. Frieza's army was heavily armed with high-tech equipment. Since Big Mun's army did not have technology, but each of them had a great amount of power. And in that way, we could say that both the armies were on an equal footing, or that's what it seemed at that moment. Big Mun said, "You even have a big army, but are they strong enough to defeat my army?" said the curious god of destruction, about whether those who followed Frieza were strong, or just disposable parts that Frieza could easily sacrifice. Frieza said, "I guarantee you, yes. This army of mine has already dominated several planets, and thanks to them, I am considered the Emperor of the 7th universe. Besides, my army is the most powerful in this universe," said the Emperor while looking in an arrogant and proud way at the god of destruction of the 13th universe. Big Mun said, "I wonder if they've at least faced truly strong beings. After all, you seem to be the type of being that goes after the weak and governs them by the base of strength. But now that they are facing opponents who are really strong, I want to know if they will retreat or fight to the death," said the god of destruction, provoking Frieza, who ended up falling for the provocation of the god of destruction. Frieza said, "That answer is easy. My army is stronger than yours, and because of that, your army will be crushed by mine," said the Emperor to the god of destruction, who only gave a small and short smile. Frieza spoke, "And right now, I will prove to you that this army conquered several planets and civilizations. My army, attack!" ordered the Emperor to his army, who upon hearing their master's orders, advanced against Big Mun's army. Big Mun spoke, "My dear companions, eliminate my enemies, and make them know how the sweet embrace of death feels. Kill them all!" ordered the god of destruction to his army, which gave a great roar, and then advanced against Frieza's army. After ordering their respective armies to advance toward each other, Frieza and Big Mun stood facing each other. Both looked at their armies facing each other and killing each other. Frieza's army was the one that was suffering the most casualties because, just as Big Mun had said, his army was stronger than Frieza's army. But the Emperor's army was in greater numbers, and that helped them to eliminate the members of the Gods of Destruction's army. During the fight between Frieza's army and Big Mun's army, some soldiers from both parties managed to reach the rival leaders and tried to attack them, something that proved to be useless, as everyone who tried to face Frieza ended up being defeated by a ki attack. And those who tried to hit Big Mun were erased by the aura of destruction that disintegrated everything that tried to touch the god of destruction. Big Mun weighed in. "I'm already wasting a lot of time with these jokes. I don't know if the current gods of destruction will come after me. Maybe they felt that I came back, and the current god of destruction of this universe will come after me, so I have to end it soon," thought the god of destruction, who decided to stop just watching the fight and start acting. Frieza watched Big Mun for a few seconds until Big Mun disappeared when a member of his army passed in front of him, and when Frieza realized, Big Mun was already beside him. Big Mun appeared beside Frieza, kicked the Emperor, who managed to defend himself using his arm, but because of the impact, the Emperor was thrown away. Frieza in midair managed to balance and dodge a kick from Big Mun. After doing so, Frieza, using his tail, held the leg of the god of destruction and spun him, as if he were a pawn. Frieza released the leg of the god of destruction. This caused him to be thrown against a stone wall, which due to the force of the impact ended up creating some cracks in the wall. Big Mun recovered quickly and managed to dodge a punch from Frieza that ended up hitting and destroying the stone wall. Then Big Mun hit a punch in the abdomen of the Emperor, who, when he felt the blow, grunted in pain. Frieza tried to hit the god of destruction, but Big Mun wasn't kidding anymore. He managed to defend himself easily and then started a combo of 2 punches in the stomach, and another punch from below upwards on the Emperor's chin, who ended up being lifted off the ground because of the force of the blow. But Big Mun didn't stop there, as he grabbed the Emperor's tail and hurled him into a mountain, and to finish it off, fired a sphere of pure energy of destruction in Frieza's direction. Frieza, seeing Big Mun's attack coming towards him, simply kicked the attack away, and when the attack reached the ground, a big explosion ended up happening, and with it, a great destruction was caused. Frieza spoke. "Don't think you'll defeat me easily," said the Emperor, advancing at high speed towards Big Mun, who did the same thing. Both warriors started to face each other in the air. Sounds of punches and kicks could be heard for kilometers from the location, and thanks to the release of Frieza and Big Mun's energy, they ended up making the planet react. And with that, a storm began to form on the planet. The energy they were releasing was being drained by the very atmosphere of that planet. With that, thunder began to fall on the earth, but these thunders were bathed in divine energy, an energy of destruction. Thanks to the storm, the army on both sides was surprised, as the thunder was being attracted to beings with less ki, and as everyone in the Frieza and Big Mun army had a smaller amount of ki, the thunder began to eliminate them, and little time later, the armies had been destroyed. Only those inside the spaceship who were not combatants ended up surviving. Frieza and Big Mun were so focused on that fight that they didn't even care about their armies being eliminated. The thunder that was chasing them was constantly irritating Big Mun and Frieza. Big Mun thought, "These thunders are annoying. I'm going to have to take this battle off the planet. It'll be easier for me to move there. These thunders won't be able to follow me there," thought the God of Destruction before kicking Frieza, making him move away. Then Big Mun flew off the planet and Frieza did the same thing, following him off the planet. Now Frieza and Big Mun were off the planet. They advanced against each other, and this time both ended up hitting each other. They separated and again advanced against each other. Because of the speed of both, it was only possible to see two energy trails, a darker violet that belonged to Black Frieza, and the other trail, a violet with a little red in it, that being Big Mun's. Big Mun thought, "This battle is already going on for too long. I have to end it soon," thought the God of Destruction while facing the Emperor, who until now was holding up well in that fight. Frieza spoke. "You previously said that I would be strong enough to defeat a God of Destruction, and I agree with you. And to confirm this theory, I just need to defeat you here and now," said the Emperor, disappearing and reappearing in front of Big Mun. Frieza hit him with a powerful punch in the face, making him be launched against an asteroid. Big Mun thought, "That's enough. My powers have just returned, and using my full God of Destruction form is a risk. But if I don't, I'll be killed by him. And I'm getting to feel some energy from the current God of Destruction. He's coming after me," thought Big Mun, already becoming apprehensive about being found by the current God of Destruction in that dimension. Big Mun, already tired and in a hurry to finish that fight, began to release a lot of energy from the destruction, making the clots on his body turn purple, with a reddish tint. In addition to his eyes that stopped being red and became a dark purple, and everything around Big Mun ended up being completely disintegrated. Frieza, seeing all that power, even not admitting it, felt very afraid of that overwhelming power. After a few seconds, the Emperor was able to see how Big Mun was when he was with his full power of the God of Destruction. Big Mun spoke, "This battle is over," said the God of Destruction with an altered tone of voice. Frieza was unable to react when Big Mun appeared in front of him and trapped him using his clothes. Then Big Mun began to give Frieza several blows until he ended up passing out, and thus returning to his base form. Seeing that the Emperor was already defeated, Big Mun would finish him using Hakai. But he was too weak, having used his full power in that form. And because of that, the God of Destruction left that place, leaving Frieza wandering through space. In the 7th universe. Somewhere in the 7th universe, it was possible to see Big Mun inside a kind of cave on any planet, far away from the place where he was previously. The God of Destruction of the 13th universe was in his normal form. Big Mun was quite out of breath after using his true God of Destruction power. Big Mun spoke. "I wasn't expecting Black Frieza to push me to my limit and force me to use my true God of Destruction form. This is really disappointing. A God of Destruction that has already been enshrined as being the strongest God of Destruction, capable of injuring an angel, even if it was a minor injury. I was the only being to manage to injure an angel, and that led to my downfall. The fear that one day I would rebel against the other gods of destruction. If I had the same level as the angels, I could even rebel against them." The God of Destruction spoke to himself while looking at the cave wall that was getting darker, because it was getting dark on that planet. Big Mun said, "I shouldn't have used my full power in that form. But if I hadn't done that, the God of this universe would have found me, and probably his angel would have captured me and taken me to the Daishinken, who would kill me again, and this time it would be permanent. So having used my true form of God of Destruction was right," said the God of Destruction, panting, as he had used a lot of energy in the fight against Black Frieza, and used even more energy during his escape. Big Mun said, "But at the end of the day, using that power left me too worn out. My whole body is aching, and besides that, I'm all out of energy, so I'll have to sleep in this place today, and tomorrow I'll have to go after supplies, and only then will I be able to go after those Dragon Balls created by beings from another dimension called Namekusendins. I think that's how they are called, or were in my time. After all, things have changed a lot since the time I was still alive and led the 13th universe," said the tired God of Destruction. After a few minutes, Big Mun lay down and ended up sleeping in that place. At the edge of the 7th universe a few hours ago. A few hours ago on the planet that is at the edge of the 7th universe, and where previously the star that could grant all wishes was, it was possible to see a large pillar of light approaching the planet. The pillar stopped before entering the planet, and then the pillar disappeared, revealing that inside it was Beerus and Whis. Both had gone to that place in search of a strange energy that only the gods of destruction or their successors could emit. Whis said, "Mr. Beerus, are you sure it was in this direction that you felt the energy of a god of destruction?" he asked the angel to his god of destruction. Beerus said, "Yes, Whis, I'm sure it was in that direction, and I think the energy must have come from this planet," said the god of destruction to his angel. Whis said, "Okay, so let's take a closer look and let's try to find out which of the gods of destruction came to your universe without introducing yourself to you first. I just hope it's not some god of destruction wanting to fight with you. It would be a tragedy, two gods of destruction facing each other," said the angel with one of his hands on his cheek, while the other held his angel staff. Beerus said, "If it's some god of destruction looking for trouble, he's found the right place. I'm already getting a little rusty from not fighting or destroying planets lately. Now enough talk and let's go, Whis," ordered the god of destruction to his angel. Whis said, "Yes, sir," said the angel, hitting his staff in midair, making another pillar of energy surround him and Beerus. Then the pillar went towards the planet, reaching the ground in a matter of seconds. Upon reaching the planet's soil, Beerus and Whis were surprised at the state of the planet, as there was a great storm of divine energy and energy of destruction that were mixed in that lightning storm. One of the rays tried to hit Beerus, but Whis created a barrier and prevented the ray from hitting him. Beerus said, "Now I understood why I felt the energy of a god of destruction on this planet. This storm was created using the energy of a god of destruction and divine energy. Analyzing now, I think I recognize this energy," said the god of destruction, analyzing the divine energy that was in place. Whis said, "I also think I already know whose energy this is. The divine energy belongs to Frieza, when he uses that form called Black Frieza. But this other energy, I felt it before, but I can't recognize whose it is," said the angel while looking at the sky and seeing the storm of lightning and thunder that was happening on the planet. Beerus spoke. "Now that you mention it, this energy really belongs to Frieza. But who did he face to leave the planet in such a chaotic state? And why exactly this planet?" asked the god of destruction while trying to recognize the owner of that energy of destruction. Whis said, "I don't know, Mr. Beerus. Let's ask Frieza about this. I'm feeling that he is close to this planet," said the angel while feeling Frieza's energy and seeing that the Emperor was not so far from where Beerus and Whis were. Beerus said, "Since that's how it is, let's go after him and find out who he fought against to leave this planet in this way," said the god of destruction to his angel. Upon hearing Beerus's orders, Whis hits his staff twice on the ground, causing the two to be teleported off the planet. They passed close to some asteroids that were destroyed, leaving a trail of destruction in which it showed that a battle had taken place there. Among the asteroids was Frieza's knocked-out body that was badly injured. Frieza was now in his base form. Beerus said, "I don't know who was responsible for that, but I know it wasn't someone weak, because Frieza was defeated in his current strongest form. And when Frieza uses that form, he should be able to hurt and even defeat a god of destruction," said the god of destruction, with a serious expression on his face as he looked around, still feeling the trail of energy of destruction. Beerus said, "Whis, take Frieza and take us to planet Earth. When we get there, we're going to interrogate Frieza to find out who his opponent was and what he wanted," said the god of destruction to his angel. Whis said, "Yes, Sir Beerus," said the angel, using his staff to create an energy bubble around Frieza. And then Whis approached Beerus, who held the angel's shoulder, and then Whis hit his staff in the air of that place, and once again they were enveloped from a dome of light and disappeared at high speed with planet Earth as their destination. Planet Earth. Currently on planet Earth, more precisely in the Capsule Corporation, it was possible to see Bulma with her family and Chi-Chi's family eating together. Meanwhile, everyone could see and hear Goku and Vegeta, who were further away from their families. Facing each other, the impact waves of the blows caused a great noise, but luckily in the place where Bulma was, it didn't make such a loud noise. Bulma said, "Every time these two see each other, they start to face off. These Saiyans are moved only by battles and nothing more than that. Our luck is that our children are not like that, Chi-Chi," said the blue-haired woman to Son Goku's wife. Chi-Chi said, "I have to agree with you, Bulma. We are very lucky that our children only fight when it's necessary, and not because they like to do it, like Goku and Vegeta," Chi-Chi said, agreeing with Bulma, while taking a little bit of a type of vitamin that Bulma was taking. But soon the conversation between the woman and the training of the Saiyans was interrupted by an energy pillar that appeared in the middle of the place, attracting everyone's attention. When the pillar disappeared, everyone could see Beerus and Whis, and next to the angel there was a sphere of green light. Goku said, "Mr. Beerus, what are you doing here? Have you come to eat something?" asked the Saiyan, curious about why the god of destruction was in that place. Beerus said, "We came today not with the purpose of eating, even if I don't mind doing that during the time I'm here," said the god of destruction when he looked at the table and saw that there was pudding on it. Vegeta spoke. "If they didn't come to eat like they always do, what did they come to do here on Earth?" asked the Saiyan prince to Beerus and his angel. Beerus said, "We came to solve a problem, only that this guy will tell me what it is," said the god of destruction while looking at Whis, who soon undid the energy bubble and let Frieza's body fall to the ground, surprising everyone in the place. Goku and Vegeta said, "Frieza," said both Saiyans at the same time when they saw the body of their main arch-enemy on the ground, all wounded. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, being more precise, on planet Earth, it was possible to see Frieza lying on a bed that was in a hospital area that had in the Capsule Corporation, and the Emperor had been sleeping for some time. But now he was just waking up, and in that moment he opened his eyes and looked around. He didn't recognize the place, something that made him get up quickly. Frieza thought, "Where am I? This place doesn't look like my ship, or any other of my bases spread across the universe. In reality, this technology and this type of construction reminds me of humans," thought the Emperor as he looked everywhere, but soon the Emperor would leave that place, but ended up feeling a great pain in his abdomen. Frieza said, "That dam almost killed me. I'm only alive now because he had mercy on me. So I, Emperor Frieza, was spared from death by a worm, like that goddamn god of destruction that came back from the dead," spoke the angry Emperor, and soon hitting his tail on the wall, making a loud noise as he had broken the wall because of the force that he had used. Because of the noise of Frieza's blow, it ended up attracting the attention of those outside that room, and soon the door was opened and Frieza could see that the one who entered the room was the angel of the universe, Whis. Whis said, "Looks like you finally woke up, Mr. Frieza. You've already had your body recovered, but I recommend that you don't move too much because you'll feel pain in the places where you were most injured," Whis said as he entered the medical wing where Frieza, who was now sure he was on an enemy planet that he hates the most. Frieza said, "What am I doing on this planet, Whis, and why was I brought here? Also, I would like to know how they found me," said the Emperor, asking a series of questions to the angel of the 7th universe. Whis said, "Don't worry, I'll answer your questions, but you'll also have to answer some of my questions for Mr. Beerus," said the angel to the Emperor. Frieza said, "I think it's fair. Now tell me why I'm here, and how did you manage to find me? I was on the edge of the 7th universe, so how do you find me?" The Emperor spoke while he looked at the angel. Whis said, "Mr. Beerus and I were on the planet of the god of destruction when we felt an energy of destruction coming from somewhere in the limits of the 7th universe, so we went to investigate, and when we got there we found you. And as you can see, you fought with someone who owns the energy of destruction, the Hakai. So we brought him to planet Earth for us to interrogate you. Now that I've answered your question, you'll have to answer one of mine. So please follow me and don't try any tricks, because if not, Mr. Beerus will kill you, and this time for sure," said the angel, leaving the room and going to where Beerus was, with Frieza following along. Soon Whis took Frieza to the place where Beerus was, and after some time walking, Whis arrived at the garden where Beerus was sitting at the table, eating some things with Goku and Vegeta, who were doing the same thing as the god of destruction. Whis said, "Mr. Beerus, our guest is already awake and seems to be fine, but he will need some time to recover," said the angel, approaching Frieza. Beerus said, "Frieza, sit down, and tell us who was the being you faced and left you on the brink of death," said the god of destruction, stopping eating and looking at the Emperor, who sat down in front of Beerus. Frieza spoke, "Why should I answer your question, Beerus? I won't gain anything by doing this for you," said the Emperor with a teasing look on Beerus. Beerus said, "You will win the gift of staying alive, Frieza, because if you don't tell me who you faced, I will kill you here and now," said the god of destruction, releasing a little bit of his Hakai. Frieza said, "I'll talk. As far as I know, the guy I faced, he was called Big Mun, and he's a god of destruction, or he was a god of destruction," said the Emperor to Beerus, who didn't know if he was the god of destruction. In fact, but Whis knew a lot well who he was and was shocked to learn that he was alive. Whis said, "That's impossible. Big Mun was killed thousands of years ago, and I was there. I saw his death, so it must be a mistake, said the angel when he heard that Big Mun is alive again. Beerus spoke. Do you know him, Whis? Asked the god of destruction as he looked at his angel. Whis said, Big Mun was a god of destruction that ruled the 13th universe and was considered the strongest god of destruction, reaching the point of being able to hurt his angel during training, and that worried all of us with the possibility of him being able to overcome the angels someday. He was kind of weird because he wanted to defeat and kill the angels, so we made the decision to defeat Big Mun, and my father the Daishinkan killed him. And then this happened at the time that 6 of the 18 universes were erased by the Zenosama, said the angel while looking at his god of destruction, who was very surprised and shocked by the fact that a god of destruction of that caliber had existed, and he didn't know about this story. Frieza said, Looks like he's really famous. Like it or not, I must admit that his fame is right. He easily defeated me when he activated the true power of the gods of destruction, but I felt that he is still weak. His power must have weakened because of the time he had been dead, said the Emperor, attracting everyone's attention to him. Beerus said, You must be talking nonsense, Frieza. If Zenosama and the High Priest killed him, it's impossible that he came back to life somehow. And moreover, why was he in the limits of the 7th universe? Asked the god of destruction to the Emperor. Frieza spoke. I was on that planet, behind the star that was said to have been created by the dragon god Zalama. The star would grant my wish. But when I picked up the star, it started to shine, and from its shine came Big Mun. But it doesn't end there. Big Mun told me that he knew he would be killed, and because of that he made a wish on the star for him to come back to life someday. And when I found the star, his wish was activated, and in this way he came back to life. And if I doubt everyone who belongs to the 13th universe must have come back to life, and I'm sure he will want revenge. And if he regains his true strength, and you, Beerus, will not be able to defeat Big Mun, said the Emperor, leaving everyone with fear. After all, really, Big Mun could go after the gods to take revenge. Now with Big Mun. Currently with the god of destruction, it could be seen that he was wandering around the 7th universe looking for something. Big Mun thought, if I'm correct, she must be on one of the planets, but which one? I already know. She must be on that planet that she spoke so much to me in the past. I just hope she's still there and that she still remembers me, thought the god of destruction, already with a target on his mind, and soon he took off in the direction of a certain planet. After some time flying through the vacuum of space, the god of destruction, Big Mun, arrives at his destination, which is a planet that is on the limits of the 7th universe. The planet in question was similar to planet Earth, but it had much more sand and water than planet Earth. Big Mun soon entered the planet and flew to a place where his angel liked to go, when the two went together to the 7th universe. Big Mun spoke. This place is still the same as the last time I came here. I hope you're here, said the god of destruction, soon landing on the soft sand of that planet. Soon the god of destruction began to walk all over the place in search of his angel, until in the middle of some foliage, he ended up seeing a pair of rabbit ears, something that made a god of destruction heave a heavy sigh. Big Mun thought, even after a long time, she still likes to dress up. It seems that certain things never change, thought the god of destruction before disappearing and reappearing in front of the foliage, soon taking the rabbit ears and pulling them upwards, causing the ears to come off the head of the being who was crouching in that place. The mysterious being spoke. My bunny ears, said the being that was inside the foliage. Big Mun said, Stop playing and get out of these foliage now, Amunet. Spoke the god of destruction authoritatively, and soon a woman with white hair, bluish skin, wearing an outfit that all angels wear, but red, came out of the foliage, and she had her nose painted black. Amunet spoke. Sir Big Mun, firstly, could you give me back my bunny ears? Secondly, I would like to know why you took so long to come after me, said the angel while looking at her god of destruction. Big Mun said, It's good. At least someone still knows me and doesn't want to kill me. Take those rabbit ears of yours. I didn't come after you because only a short time ago I came back to life, with the help of star power. But I'm still weak, said the god of destruction, already returning his rabbit hair bow to his angel, who soon put it on. Amunet spoke. I say the same, Lord. It's good to see you and serve you again. Now I already know a way to regain your power, and maybe become stronger than back then. He spoke to the angel with a big smile, as his god of destruction, who was surprised and excited. Big Mun said, I forgot how helpful you are, Amunet. Now tell me how I can get my power back, and maybe get even stronger, said the god of destruction with a smile on his face. Amunet spoke. To recover your power, you will have to use something that in this universe they call dragon spheres. And according to my research, there is one of them that can recover your power and maybe make you even stronger than before, Mr. Big Mun. We are going to need 2 Dragon Balls, one with 1 star and the other with 2 stars, both of which are small, said the angel, invoking her staff and creating a hologram of the Dragon Balls. Big Mun said, "Great. Our goal now is to find those spheres, and then I'll have my power again. And with that, I'll have my revenge," said the god of destruction with a big smile on his face.
In the 7th universe, it was possible to see Big Mu and Aminet on the same planet where they had met again. The god of destruction, Big Mu, was still recovering, because the way Big Mu was, he could be destroyed easily by any warrior, and he didn't want something like that to happen. Big Mu spoke. "Aminet, what happened to the 13th universe after my death? Were there other gods of destruction after me?" asked the god of destruction to his angel, who was jumping up and down pretending to be a rabbit, something that made the god of destruction slap himself, because he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Aminet said, "Not really. After his death, Zeno made the decision to destroy the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th universe. I don't remember very well why, but I think that it was because the gods of destruction of these universes were following their example of rebelling against the angels. Or that's what I heard," said the angel, taking a carrot from inside the dimension of her staff and eating it. Big Mu spoke. "And the angels of those universes, what happened to them? And what did you do after the 13th universe was destroyed?" asked the god of destruction to his angel, who ate the carrot very happily. Aminet spoke. "The angels of the eliminated universes ended up being sealed away until the right time came for them to be released and returned to their universes. But for that to happen, the universes would have to be restored. But I didn't really believe that, so I stayed here on this planet waiting for you to come back. After all, knowing you, I already knew that you would have a plan to come back to life if you were killed," said the angel as she finished eating the carrot. Big Mu spoke. "Good to know that you know me well enough to know that I wouldn't accept my death so easily. Well, do you know where those Dragon Balls are, which you said would bring my powers back?" said the god of destruction, asking his angel about the Dragon Balls. Aminet said, "Yes, master, I already know the location of one of the spheres, and apparently it is the 1-star sphere. As for the 2-star sphere, I still don't know where it is, but if we get the 1-star sphere, I can do it track the 2-star sphere," said the angel while looking at the hologram of the 1-star sphere that was coming out of her staff. Big Mu said, "So if we take the 1-star sphere, we'll be able to find out the location of the other sphere. Well, does the planet where the 1-star sphere is, does it have intelligent life? If so, are they strong?" asked the god of destruction to his angel, who started to locate where the sphere was and find out a little more about the planet where the sphere was. Aminet spoke. "Apparently the planet where the 1-star sphere is has intelligent life, and they are considerably strong. They are as strong as that race that you destroyed, because they made fun of your rags and your skin full of cracks," spoke to Anya while looking at her god of destruction, who soon began to think about the race he eliminated in his universe many years ago, just because they laughed at the cloths he had on his body. Big Mu said, "They really deserve to die. I've never seen such a lack of respect for a god of destruction, but they weren't that weak, and in my current state, I should be able to defeat the people on the planet where we'll find the 1-star sphere and anything you can use your power to heal me, since unfortunately you can't use it to help me restore my powers. It's been so long since I've felt what it's like to be weak that it's driving me crazy. Aminet, I'm ready. Let's go to this planet and get this Dragon Ball," said the god of destruction, already prepared to face the warriors of the planet where the sphere of 1 star was. Aminet said, "If that's what you want, master, then let's go get the first Dragon Ball," said Anya, swinging her staff and creating a portal. Then she and Big Mu went through the portal that led to the planet where the 1-star dragon sphere would be. On any planet, on a planet similar to the planet Mars and the planet Earth together, it was possible to see a portal being formed on top of a city. According to the angel, it was in that city that the dragon sphere of 1 star was located, and from that portal came Big Mu, and at his side was Aminet, who had his staff in hand. Big Mu spoke. "Is this where the Dragon Ball is located, Aminet?" asked the god of destruction to his Anya. Aminet said, "Yes, sir, and that city is the 1-star dragon sphere. Being more precise, sir, the sphere is in that temple, but I must say that in that temple there are very strong warriors, so if you enter a battle, only the defeat or kill them using your Hakai. because you are too weak to prolong the fights, as you always did in the old days, said Anya to her god of destruction, who just nodded in agreement with her Anya. Big Mu and Amunet went to the place where the Dragon Ball was. The place was very similar to a temple, and after entering that place, they were received by a group of warriors. The leader spoke. "Who are you, and what do you want in our Temple of the Stars?" asked the man who seemed to be the leader of all those warriors. Big Mu said, "We came after a sphere with a star. You know where it is," said the god of destruction while looking at the leader of that group. Leader spoke. "The sphere is under our protection, so get out of here soon, or face us and die," said the warrior while looking at the god of destruction. Big Mu said, "Okay, you don't have to worry, we'll be on our way. Come on, Amunet," said the god of destruction, leaving that place with his angel. Amunet said, "If you are going to do what I think you are going to, I would say that the dragon sphere will not be destroyed by your Hakai, but try not to use it at full power. In addition, I have created a barrier around the sphere. However, the sphere is weak, which is making it difficult for me to know its location," said Anya to her god of destruction. Both were floating the temple where the dragon sphere was. Big Mu said, "That's good to know," said the god of destruction, creating several spheres containing the energy of destruction, and then throwing the spheres against the temple, which was destroyed by the attacks. The warriors who were inside had died because of Big Mu's attack and because of the debris that had fallen on them. Big Mu said, "Well, I think everyone is already dead, and I didn't have to fight them like you asked me to. Now, you can go get the dragon sphere, so that later we can find out where the second sphere is, so that I can use it to recover my powers and become even stronger to be able to take revenge," said the god of destruction as he watched for your angel. Amunet spoke. "Yes, sir," said Anya, raising her hand. And soon a small sphere with one star went to her hand. Then Anya created a portal to the planet where they were previously, and then Big Mu and Amunet entered the portal. After returning to the planet where they were previously, Big Mu had gone to sleep to rest, and meanwhile, Amunet was analyzing the Dragon Ball, and after a few hours, Anya discovered where the second Dragon Ball was. Amunet spoke, "Master, I have found the location of the second Dragon Ball. We can go after her right now, since you have recovered some of your strength." He spoke to Anya to his master, who got up and went to Anya. Big Mu spoke, "Great, let's get that sphere right away. I can't wait to have my power back," said the god of destruction to his Anya, who created a portal in which Big Mu and Amunet entered. Planet Earth. Currently on planet Earth, it was possible to see a portal being formed on top of a large lake, and from the portal Big Mu and Amunet came out. Amunet spoke, "The sphere is at the bottom of this lake, Master," Anya spoke while she looked at the lake. Big Mu, after hearing that, entered the lake and started looking for the sphere. After a few minutes, Big Mu had managed to find the sphere, but when he left the lake, Big Mu found Lord Beerus, who, when he saw him, hit a powerful punch to Big Mu's face, which went flying. But in the process, Big Mu ended up dropping the sphere, and before the sphere fell into the water again, Lord Beerus caught it. Big Mu thought, "Damn, the last sphere had to be on the planet where the god of destruction of that universe was," thought the god of destruction, while regaining balance. Lord Beerus spoke. "It seems that the great Big Mu, the god of destruction, who ended up earning the title of Supreme God of Destruction by becoming so strong, to the point of being a threat to the Daishinkan itself and the angels, is not so dead as I thought he was," said the god of destruction from the 7th universe while looking at Big Mu. Big Mu thought, "In my current conditions, I can't face this guy. I need to get out of here and recover soon, before entering into a fight with someone who has the power of a god," thought the god of destruction, looking at Lord Beerus, who now held the Dragon Ball. Amunet said, "We would like to stay here to talk, but we have to go," said Anya. Appearing next to her god of destruction, Big Mu, Anya then created a portal, and before Lord Beerus could do anything, Anya entered at the portal along with Big Mu. Lord Beerus said, "It looks like they ran away, but Big Mu came to planet Earth because of this sphere, so as long as I have this sphere, Big Mu will have to come to me. From now on, this sphere will stay with me 24 hours, said the god of destruction while looking at the sphere in his hands. In the 7th universe, currently on the planet where Big Mun and Amunet met, it was possible to see a portal being formed, and Big Mun and Amunet came out of it. The god of destruction was injured because of the blow he had received from Beerus when Big Mun went to the planet Earth in search of the other sphere of destruction. Big Mun said, "What a drug. Now that shit, who is the current god of destruction of that universe, has the other Dragon Ball and he's stronger than me. And without that sphere I can't regain my old power, and without my power I will get revenge on those damn angels and gods of destruction," said the god of destruction, very angry with what had happened on planet Earth a few minutes ago. Amunet spoke, "Really, sir, your current power is inferior to that of the current god of destruction of the 7th universe, and if you tried to take his sphere, you could be killed," said the angel to her god of destruction, who he looked over with an annoyed expression on his face. Big Mun said, "Swear, I didn't even notice when I got punched by that guy, and I had to run away to not get killed again." "Then don't say anything, Amunet. If I had my true powers and my original strength, I could easily crush that guy, so he was lucky to face me in this state, because otherwise I would have killed him," said the god of destruction, very irritated with the fact that his angel had thrown it in his face that he had taken a beating from Beerus. Big Mun said, "And now, what should I do? Because trying to recover the dragon sphere that is with that god of destruction, it will be impossible with my current powers, and I guarantee that he will not let go of that sphere, if he knows who I am and what I am capable of," said the god of destruction, frustrated, since thanks to Beerus his plans were ruined. Amunet spoke, "I already know. We're going after the Super Dragon Balls," said the angel while looking at Big Mun, who didn't understand very well. Big Mun said, "I just said that I won't be able to defeat the god of destruction of the 7th universe, that Beerus guy, and you tell me that we're supposed to get her?" said the god of destruction, not understanding why his angel said that to him. Amunet said, "I think you didn't understand, master. I said the super dragon spheres and not dragon spheres," said the angel to her master, who still didn't understand. Big Mun spoke, "Is there any difference between them? They are all Dragon Balls in the end, so they must be the same thing," said the confused god of destruction, because for him the Dragon Balls and the Super Dragon Balls were the same thing. Amunet said, "No, master. The Dragon Balls we were looking for were 2 spheres, and they are so small that we can hold them in our hands easily, while the Super Dragon Balls are 7 spheres, and each of them is the size of a planet, and they are spread out by the 6th and 7th universe," the angel explained to her master, who was surprised to hear that there were 7 spheres the size of planets. Big Mun said, "7 spheres the size of planets spread across the 6th and 7th universe. How are we going to get them if they are the size of planets? And are they as useful as the Dragon Balls we were collecting?" asked the god of destruction to his angel. Amunet spoke, "Yes, master. In reality, these spheres are even more powerful, as they had been made by Zalama-sama thousands of years ago, and don't worry about their size. I have a plan," said the angel to her god of destruction. Big Mun said, "Okay, but what should I do in case I go to the 6th universe and I have to face the god of destruction of that universe? Because I'm still weak and I can't use my true power of destruction," said the god of destruction to his angel, who, after thinking a little, had an idea. Amunet spoke, "I already know. Let's use this item. It will allow you to use a little of your power for a short period of time, and if you use it too much, your body will start to be injured by your own power," said the angel, handing over an item for your master.
We reached the end of another video today, so for those who like the content of this channel already, leave the like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave your comment, which is very important for the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.